What's up everyone, welcome back to Crown Stag Voiceover. My name is Neil Glasgow. In today's Before You Buy review, I'm going to be covering Freelancer.com. Now, I'm not calling this the voiceover website Freelancer.com because by and large, Freelancer.com isn't aimed at voiceover work. There are plenty of jobs on there, but we'll come back to that a little bit later in the review. Now, if this is the first Before You Buy style review that you've seen with me, what I do is I give you some of the ups and downs of the platform, where I think they work really well, and actually what they might be able to improve on. I'm not going to give any negative reviews based on any bad experiences I might have had or any bad experiences anyone I know might have had. This is purely designed to give you an idea of what you might be able to expect if you use this platform. So, with that in mind, let's get into it. So the basic idea around Freelancer is you as the freelancer will create a profile, you'll outline all of your particular skills that work for your skill set. That's an interesting sentence. And you will be able to go out there and bid for the dozens, hundreds, thousands of jobs that are available on freelancer.com. It's part of what you would call the gig economy. You go out and bid for the work that you want to do. So my first up for the platform is actually they do have a global marketplace that you can actually apply for voiceover work. I've had voiceover work come literally from all over the world who use my skill set because a lot of the voiceover work that is available is English spoken. But the client base on Upwork may not be an English native speaker. Thus, they're looking for that particular skill set. That there is a lot out there that you're potentially be able to tap into, and they've done the marketing around that. I'll give them an up on that one. My next up is in an effort to provide quality clients and candidates for the jobs, they've got a multi-stage verification process that essentially says that you're a real person, you're not a bot, and that there's a bit of quality control behind that. They can do assessments, you can take certifications, online tests essentially, you can do phone and ID verifications, essentially something that says you are a voiceover artist, an experienced voiceover artist that's worth what you're trying to charge. They will then support you in that with the client by saying, actually, yes, we verified the quality standards of this individual. And they will also do that on the flip side with the client to say, this client has spent money, this client has spent X amount of money, this client is a verified person through whatever means that they're verifying the client through, to say that you're not going to get scammed. And we'll come back to that in a little bit, but I'll give them an up for that. My next up is actually the profile system that they have. They, like many other platforms, have a review process. And that means that the client can see that you've been hired, you've got 5-star reviews, you've earned X amount of money, your repeat hire rate potentially as well. That's something that's quite nice to have on the platform. It all demonstrates to new clients that actually you are worth investing in. I think that's quite a good aspect for that particular platform. So again, I'll give that one an up. Another up is they do operate a type of meritocracy. And what I mean by that is the more work you do, work leads to work. I've said this in many videos before. Check a link. The more work you do, work leads to work. I've said this before. The platform will promote you more to clients who just put in a search for your particular skill set. But what they also have is the preferred freelancer program, which is a paid program. But what that means is that you, as the voiceover artist, get kind of top billing. It is something that you pay for, but you can only be invited to it after you've reached a certain quality criteria and level. So again, I'll give that one an up. A tacit up, but it's an up nonetheless. Another up is Freelancer is actually 99% free to use. They provide, I think it's about 150 bids on a job per month. And actually, I struggle to ever use that total amount of bids that they provide. They do offer a service that you can bid on a bit of work and you can seal your bid for £4 or £5. And you can also promote or feature your bid for another $4 or $5. And that says that although they're not charging, there is a model that allows you to pay $10 and get top billing, despite the fact that it might not really be the best option that's out there. And for the client to see those first and then filter through and trying to find what they want, from a client perspective, if you're hiring, it doesn't matter to me if I've opened one that's come through for free or if I've opened one that was just the top of the pile. It has to be the right sound that I'm looking for. So for you as a voiceover artist, even if you apply to 4 or 5 a day, $50 a day? Yeah, okay, I'll give it an up that it is free and you don't have to do that. But we'll come back to this exact point in about 2 minutes. My last up for Freelancer is their payment system, actually. Given that you could have clients from all over the world, they actually have a payment and conversion system regardless of the currency that you work in and are paid in as well. And that's quite helpful as a voiceover artist to be able to upload your tax information for whatever regions that you may pay tax in, and that is deducted and invoiced, and you can use that invoice and information for your home tax purposes. So I think that's quite a good thing. They hold the money in escrow. They always make sure that if a client awards a project, there is money that's sitting there, then you don't have to continue to chase the client, and their support network, if you need to tap into it, is fairly robust. So yeah, again, I'll give that one an up. And so we come to the downs, and I think you've probably been expecting this to come through. My first down for Freelancer is actually their clients. Now, this isn't to disparage all clients by any means at all, but what Freelancer does struggle with are scams. And there are a lot out there, and again, be cautious. A lot of people don't fall for them, but that they're available on the platform. And these are the types of things, particularly within voiceover, of, we really like your voice. Could you just record this 200-word snippet? Doesn't sound like a lot, and actually, generally, it isn't. But then you might watermark it, as you should. Definitely should. But then you have the person come back to you and maybe say, we can't give that to the client because of these watermarks. Could you redo it? Or there's a lot of seemingly trying to get something for free. Or the other one that I'm aware of that's on the platform is someone would like to hire you for X job. Doesn't matter if the job's voiceover or not. They'll then contact you and say, actually, that job's gone, but I have another thing that I wanted to speak to you about. And this has happened several times to several people. And again, this isn't negative. This is just reporting. I can't hire you for the job that I wanted you to do, but have you heard of this other platform? Might be Upwork, might be LinkedIn, whatever it might be. And it will be something along the lines of, where I am in the world, I can only have one account. Could you set up another account on my behalf and I'll pay you for any work that comes through that? Again, it's scammy. And I think the platform could do a better job of filtering those people out. And again, you can report them, but there's a lot of that happens on the platform on a regular basis. I think that needs to be policed a little bit more. And for anyone who's new to the platform, they might fall for this or fall afoul of that. Just be careful, but I am going to give that a down. My next down, coming back to it, is the bidding system. Now, the bids that you put in, as I said before, are absolutely free. You don't have to spend any of this money. But the platform actively promotes that you should do this. And there are 3 different types that you can do. I said 2 before, it's 3. So you can highlight your bid. And highlighting your bid essentially means it will be in yellow, thus giving it greater visibility and higher chance of being awarded. Pay us some money. The next one is a sealed bid. So that means that other freelancers can't see what you've said that you'll do and see what you said you will charge, thus making your bid one of a kind. Should be anyway, but okay. pay us some money for that privilege. Or you get the sponsored bid, and that's the $6 one. And they promote that to say that a sponsored bid is 518% more likely to be awarded that role, and that there's only one sponsored bid per job. Which I don't know how they do, because I've tried sponsored bids before and I've never been turned away, and I've applied for jobs days after it's come up. So either there's only one, or that's just what they're saying. Can't prove it either way. But it seems an unusual thing to try and do and to try and promote, to say, if you just pay us this extra $6, if you only pay $6 per bid that you do, and you do multiple bids a day, and you're 518% more likely to do it and get awarded it. Yeah, I don't like that. I think that feels... Yeah, I just don't buy it, if I'm perfectly honest with you. It just doesn't sound like something that should really make a difference to you being awarded. And the reality is, I've maybe done a handful of sponsored bids, and I've never had the benefit of the bids, but I've done quite a lot of work on Freelancer and just using the free elements that they give us. I'm going to give that a down, because it's all over the place and it just doesn't ring true to the service that they're offering. And actually the services that they're offering, highlight it in yellow, down. My next down for Freelancer is their search capability. Now, as I've said before, Freelancer isn't a voiceover specific site, so their search capability is fairly limited as well. You can essentially search for voice artist and voice actor, and you can put in a couple of more criteria, but by and large what you're going to get back is every voice job that they have that's probably not going to be relevant for you. They're wrong accent, wrong voice, wrong gender, whatever it might be. There are jobs on there. There's on average over 100 jobs at any one point of various duration that they've actually been on the platform. It might be a couple of days, a couple of weeks. It might even just be a couple of hours. There are jobs that come through. But the search functionality for you to be able to take advantage of what Freelancer is as a platform, it's post a job, find a freelancer. Those two connecting elements feel fairly disjointed for what you might actually be using it for. So again, it doesn't feel like a massive tweak. I say this a lot on these videos, but for the search functionality to not be robust, yeah, I give that a down all day long. My next down is the types of jobs that come through on Freelancer. Now, by and large, they are the lower paying, quick and dirty style of voiceover jobs. They might be new YouTube channels. It might be an IVR thing that needs to get done. You know, someone with not a massive budget trying to get something done on the cheap. Nothing wrong with that. Genuinely, there's nothing wrong with that. Go for those jobs. I've done some of those jobs. There's nothing wrong with it. My issue on the platform is how they allow their jobs to be advertised, specifically when it comes to the pay criteria. And this is something you'll see all the time. I've got X job that I want to buy. Here's what my criteria is. That might just be a sentence. It might be robust. You get variance. But the issue is, I'm willing to pay, or this job is categorized at, or you can bid between $30 and $5,000. And what do you as the voiceover artist do? Now, you should be writing in what you feel is a fair payment for that particular piece of work. But if the client's putting in something, let's say a little bit more realistic, between $50 and $250, that's quite a gap between what you maybe think that the client's budget is, or what they want to pay, and what you think is the fair amount for it. And it has happened, you know, I've experienced it myself, of the client will put in a budget, you'll pay within that budget, and the client will award you and then come to you and say, actually, I want the whole thing that we've discussed, but I want it for less than the lowest price that I was going to bid in for it. That's not the platform's fault. That, again, is the client. But that the platform allows habitually to have that wide variety of pay scale. I don't understand the rhyme or reason behind it. Either the client has $5,000 or $250, whatever it is, as their budget, that should be the budget, and anything below that is gravy for them. But giving a starting amount at 10, 20, it could be $1 up to infinity. That genuinely does happen. There's too wide a gap, in my opinion, to be consistent and to actually know where to judge yourself at. And given that there are clients all over the world who will say we'll pay 12,000 INR, which that's India, but I forget what the denomination's called, or it might be Australian dollars, American dollars, Canadian dollars, British pounds, whatever it is. Exchange rates matter for where you are. And I think that the platform needs to do better to have the client quality criteria more ironed out so that us as freelancers on the platform can bid specifically for jobs that are relevant for our skill set and that match our budgets as well as anything else. It feels very much a race to the bottom, and I think that's by design. That's a down. Ultimately, should you invest your time on Freelancer as a voiceover artist? Yeah, it's free. You don't have to part with a penny. And if you're smart and you're aware of the scams that are out there and the low quality of some jobs and are prepared to play the game a little bit, sure. Yeah, I use it. I use it. So I'm aware of the issues that it has. I'm aware that it does try to charge you money at every step that you possibly take within the process. But you also don't need to part with a lot of money. And yes, they will take a percentage of what your overall project billing is. But that's the same with most platforms. And if you're not paying anything up front and you take that off the back end through getting the job through their platform and using their invoice systems, I don't really begrudge that. That's why the 10% isn't on the list. But can I wholeheartedly recommend Freelancer.com? Yeah, like I say, only if you pay attention to what is being asked of you by any job that goes out there and that you're prepared to maybe jump through a couple of hoops for that experience that the jobs and platform could offer you. Well, I hope you found the video interesting. I hope that it does support you and that you've learned something. If you have, leave me a like and subscribe, and a comment, always welcome. If there's another freelance website out there or any other voiceover website that you'd like me to do a before you buy review on, drop it in the comments below. Remember, you can absolutely be a voiceover artist. I'll speak to you in the next video.